My thoughts on the Destiny 2 PC beta. The original Xbox One has officially stopped production, and HTC is looking to sell the Vive? Question mark? We'll get into it in the breakdown. What's going on, people? It's your boy DaRealMastalin. Welcome to your daily dose. And as always, before we get started, hit me with those 3 things real quick. First one, drop your super on that like button. Subscribe here for more. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every single time I drop a video. Now let's break it down. First up, we got Destiny 2, the PC beta. It is now open to everybody as of today. It was available yesterday if you pre-ordered on battle.net, but it's now open beta for the next 3 days, starting today on PC. And my thoughts on PC are that 60 FPS makes this a better game. That's the long and short of it. 60 FPS plus makes this a better game. Although the game on PC has frame pacing problems from what I've played so far. Like I've run it on multiple rigs, and one of my rigs can destroy this thing at 4K 60 FPS easily, dual titans, but the other one, even my editing rig with a 1080 and a R7 1700, like it can run it well above the nominal value for 60 FPS, but it has like real bad frame pacing. Like it'll jump anywhere from like 150 and drop to like the 30s at the exact same settings and the exact same conditions. It's real weird. Like it'll have like weird algorithmic paces, but I guess they'll use this beta to iron out all of that, even though the game launches in a week on console and in a little over a month on PC. So I don't know, it's testy, but 60 FPS definitely makes this a better game. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, they can do 60 FPS on console, even if it's just in the multiplayer. They're BS about it being 30 FPS because the consoles can't handle it. That's just some lazy BS. Like that's what that is, because their reasoning was that it was about the AI and the particle effects and all this other stuff happening on screen. None of that stuff is present, well, except for the particle effects, but none of that stuff is present in multiplayer. So at multiplayer it should be 60 FPS easily. Like, but again, it's one of those things where they're comfortable in making the game one way and refuse to push their own technology forward just because they have a deadline to meet, and that's really sad. But 60 FPS 1000% makes this a better game, and it's one of those games where I feel like the benefit of pushing the improved frame rate, especially in the Crucible, would benefit so much more than trying to make it pretty. Just saying. And I want to report on the original Xbox One model being officially discontinued. Although in all reality, the Xbox One original was discontinued pretty much as soon as they announced the Xbox One S. Like that's how they always work. Once they announce a new model, they discontinue the old model. That has worked like that since the beginning of time. But for some reason, they are just now, like all the news outlets are just now popping this up as a thing, even though I'm positive that they have stopped production for at least 9 months at this point in time. So it's weird, but you know, I expected not to see any OG Xbox Ones in the wild. Like the only ones you'll see are refurbished. It's very rare that you will ever find a new one out there, unless you know it's just in somebody's basement. They never touched it and they own like a mom and pop video game shop and they've just never sold that one. Also, anyone who assumed that because they stopped selling the OG Xbox One, this is like the doom and gloom of Xbox.
Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
But this was no surprise to anyone who's been paying attention and all of the video game landscape. As soon as the PS4 Slim was announced, they stopped making the PS4 OG. It's the same thing. As soon as they announced the Xbox One S, they stopped making the OG Xbox One, and they allocated those manufacturing hours and time to manufacturing the new thing. And now that the Xbox One X is on the horizon, now they've shifted over to doing the Xbox One X. It's not really a surprising thing, but I figured I would give credence to it, so I would report it to all of you who are wondering if you can find an OG Xbox One, I guess. I don't know, but they've stopped making it officially, quote unquote. And the last story is some speculation, some, rumor mill floating around type stuff. But according to Bloomberg, HTC is looking into selling off the VR portion of their business. So the HTC Vive basically and all of its components is up for sell or up for buying, according to Bloomberg. It's being shopped low key to certain, discreet partners. I don't know. It's one of those things where the Vive, it was simply the most expensive VR option. It was also the best. That is 100% true, but it was also just the most expensive, so it was going to sell less because it was the most expensive. And as things people knew were coming, or it's coming out, and Vive being so expensive and requiring such a high base, it just was destined to sell the least. And it, as far as sales go, with the Samsung VR, then PlayStation VR, Oculus, and HTC is basically in the mid ground. It's like third, I guess, around somewhere around 110 115 units per quarter, give or take 115,000 units per quarter being sold. So they're just looking to cut that portion out and basically go heavily more investing in their phones, because that's primarily what they do. And it just looks like it's one of those barrier pieces where they're gonna start, shopping around to see what or who wants to buy it. And the rumor mill is saying that there's a couple companies in talks right now, which is Google and Microsoft's in the mix, and Apple. Those are the three that they're saying is the small talking pieces for who might be interested in getting into this business. My bet is on Google, and that's just because they're one of those companies that simply likes to buy up as many products as they can in order to get them in-house so that they can more aptly push them, with all the Google and Alexa and Google Home and all that stuff. They can more aptly push them with all their in-source of products. So that is the front runner as I'm seeing it right now, but Microsoft is on the back burner. I want to say they're in a small capacity talk, I guess. I don't want to say that they're fully invested, because they have so many different AR and VR headsets coming out for the platform that I think that this talk about HTC Vive is just one of those small things that's a what if more than a it will happen type thing. But that's all the news I got for today. Y'all let me know what y'all think of everything I covered in the comments section below, or hit your boy up on Twitter at DaRealMastalin. Swing by the stream, mixer.com/DaRealMastalin. Broadband Bullies, we be in there. We just stream, we be playing games, taking heads off, and any game you want to come challenge us with, get your crew together. Make sure y'all ready to bend the knee, because that's what we do. We lay down whoever is in front of us. Our opponents, no mercy. But love y'all like some play cousins. This been your boy Mastalin, always giving you the real. Holla at y'all tomorrow, and I'm out.